Well, I think there was a security lapse, but the problem has been and it has always been this, sense of complacency. I was there, at the police lines. I was, having a meeting with the capital city police chief on Friday last, and there is one main single entry exit gate or point, and they ask you, for your identity, and if required, they check your, they frisk you or check your car, ask you to open your, boot, etc. Only then they let you go in. So that's the main. That's always been the SOP there on the main entry and exit point. But then there was this another entry point, which was at the back end, from where there were residential quarters, and the police should have known that this was and this could be used by people to sneak in. And I know there's still investigations ongoing, and we don't know for sure how bomber managed to sneak in. But I suspect there is, if he entered, he probably would have taken or used the residential quarter entry point to get in. So they should have been mindful of this thing, and we have known this now for some time, that militants have been making use of Google Maps to understand the location and different entry and exit points, and then they do their recce and proper homework. I'm sure they would have done this also, and they knew the timings also. When everybody is rushing to offer their prayers, I think the guards might have left also to offer their prayers, and that was probably the time or just before that when the bomber entered the compound. So definitely yes, there was a security lapse, no question about it. They have the capacity, and they've been fighting it out. There've been an increasing pressure on the police in recent times, because there's been an increase in the number of attacks from TTP. In Lucky Marwat, in Peshawar, and other places. Policemen were being killed. Different places were coming under attacks. So they have the capacity and the resilience. So I'm not saying that they do not have the capacity. It's just they're something to do with their training, something to do with strict enforcement of the SOPs. Whenever there is a lull, they tend to lower their guard, because police is the most visible target for the militants. They operate openly, unlike the military, all bunkered in. The police is visible there. They operate in public areas. They are seen. It's just hard for them to just bunker in. So the problem is with the SOPs, the enforcement of SOPs. I don't think there is a capacity issue with the police. The CTD, yes, they need more resources. Now we know the militants are far better, armed than our CTD, and even to some extent the police. They don't have night vision goggles. They don't have protection, and they are coming, at night. They are coming under sniper attacks. So we need to level up. We need to have better arms. The police need they need to have better arms. The CTD needs to have better arms, better equipment, better technology to trace and track. Well, the thing is, there is TTP Central, and then comprising the different factions, and TTP Moman, which used to be called Jamaatul Ahrar, was just one faction of the many factions which form the TTP or TTP Central. So the TTP Central's policy was this: it was enunciated by its head, Mufti Wali, that there would be no attacks on the mosques, funerals, etc., etc., etc. But then you have this faction, and it's not surprising that the factions have always had this operational independence. all the factions were free to plan their actions. The framework was there. Whether they agree to the framework or they don't, was didn't really matter in the past. Will it matter now that clearly one faction has deviated from the main TTP Central's policy? We don't know. We will know only when the TTP Central takes action against the faction or the group. Only then. Otherwise, just by distancing itself from the attack, I don't think it really makes much of a difference at all.